Here we go, GE 103, AutoCAD, 3D modeling, cabin project, part one. I have no idea how many parts are going to be to this. We'll just keep going until we get our little cabin done. Okay, again, we're going to start out with our title block that we created because we're going to use it a little bit later. We're probably going to change our viewports, but for right now, let's just use our title block. And I would name it cabin project with your name in it. That would be a great thing to do. And of course, you're going to be able to put your name down here and all that information when we turn this in. So I'm going to go to my model tab. And you can see that we're in our standard ribbon up here. So the first thing we need to do again is go down here to the bottom to workspace switching. Select on the little icon to the down arrow on the right hand side and go to 3D modeling. Here we go. And here's my little toolbar that I had made. Remember, I showed you how to make toolbars? Well, there's mine, and I'm going to be using that today and adding to it. I'm also going to be bringing up my command line and parking that right over here so you can see what commands I'm going to be using. Because I have this toolbar, I can right-click on it and get all the toolbars that I want to have access to. If you do not have an icon up there, type in hyphen toolbar, enter. Type in layers, Layers, enter, and S for show, enter. Layers is a really important one. We're going to be using a bunch of layers in this little project because we want to be able to turn things on and off and have some control. I'm trying to get it to set in here, and it's just not doing it. Well, we'll worry about it later. There it goes. Great. Now I can park this one here. There we go. And since we have some icons up here, we have some toolbars, we can now right-click and pull up any toolbars we also want. The other one we want is a UCS2. I find this really a handy toolbar. UCS2 is the same thing as this coordinates tab in the ribbon. And you can see it says world right there. Now watch what happens if I change this to top. That changed to top. If I change this one to left, that one changed to left. And this controls our view cube and in what plane we're working. I just find it's a lot easier to work between these two items here, this view cube here, and UCS2, because then I don't have to reach all the way back over here. So I'm going to go here and put this back on world. Just so you know, world and top are the same thing. World and top are the same thing. Okay, and then we have my little nav bar here. So here we go. We're going to make some layers first of all. I'm going to go in here and go to our layers. Here's our create layers, new layer. And I'm going to type in 2 by 4. And then I'm going to hit the comma. Do you remember this little trick? Hit the comma and create a new layer. And then I'm going to type in 2 by 6, comma. And then I'm going to type in top plate, comma, bottom plate, comma. How about 0.75 plywood, comma, 0.5 plywood, comma, floor joists, comma, and how about, what else do we need? We need trusses. Okay, that should be enough. Now the other thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to go change some colors in here just because it works for me. You don't have to. You can leave them any color you want. You can make them all the same. But for me, this seems to work a little bit better. So, and I'm just picking some random colors here. I'm not. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing, but I just want to be able to differentiate between my just different layers as I'm working. Okay, I'm just going along here and just picking up some of these things. Okay, there we go. Some of them I made the same, like 2x4s and 2x6s. If you really wanted to differentiate, you could go over here and pick a different color. That way, when you have them showing up on the screen, you know what they are. Okay, so that's all I need for right there, so I can close this. And I'm going to go up here to my layers, and I'm going to pick the first layer that I'm going to work on. And the first thing I'm going to do is make some 3/4 inch plywood. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go up here. I want to be in top, in world, either one. Remember, they're the same, so I want to be in world. I'm going to go to my box up here. I'm going to pick a point, any point on the screen. If you look at my command line, it asks if I want a cube or length, so I'm going to put L, enter. Notice that my cursor is not constrained, so I want to hit F8. I want to constrain it so it's in either an X or Y plane. And then I'm going to type in 96, enter, 48, enter, 0.75, enter. Okay. And there is my piece of plywood. And if I go up here to 2D wireframe up here, I can select that, and I can go to hidden, or I could go to color. So I'm going to make mine a color for right now. One of the things I'll tell you, though, is as we're working, I'm going to keep going in and out of one of our shaded colors or hidden or shaded gray and 2D wireframe. And the reason is, when you're in a shaded color, it's harder to find points on your geometry. It just is harder to find. So if you work in 2D wireframe, it really helps you be able to reach through the piece and select a point on the back side. Okay, so there's my first piece of material, and I'm just going to, that's all I need for right now. So now I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to go bottom plate, because that's the first thing I want to make. Now for a cabin, you could use 2x4s or 2x6s, because you're not building a 2-story house. If you're going to build a 2-story unit, you probably should use 2x6 because you want more support to support that second layer. But for a little cabin like what we're doing, 2x4 or 2x6 are just fine. But I'm going to build mine with 2x6 because I overbuild everything in my life. So I'm going to go up here to the box. Okay, I'm going to pick a point. So I'm going to pick that point. Now notice I'm still constrained, which is really nice. Go L for length, enter. Notice it unconstrains itself as soon as you hit it. F8. Okay, 5.5, enter. 1.5, enter. And then I need to give it a height, okay? And so 2x4s come in all kinds of different heights. Standard is 8 feet, okay, which is 96 inches. And they also make a 93 something, which has to do with the interior of whatever you're going to do and whether you're going to use sheetrock, and if you want the 8-foot sheetrock to work the most efficiently. For what we're going to do, let's just use 96. It's a lot easier, okay? Oh, and what I did was I made it go vertical, and I really don't want this to go vertical. This is my bottom plate. This is what I'm going to build my studs on, so I need to lay this down. So I'm going to pick this. I'm going to go up to 3D rotate. Now, I also have 3D rotate on my toolbar. Remember that? I'm going to start building this toolbar as we go along. So I'm going to go use this one because it's right there and I can grab it. Now I get this little sort of nuclear symbol here with the 3 different colors, green, red, and blue. And what I'm going to do is pick the ring for the rotation that I want, which in this case is the green one. I'm going to pick it, and I'm going to pick that same spot right down there, and I can just wiggle it around, or I can type in an amount, and I'm going to go, I believe this is going to be a -90. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I was wrong, but that's okay. We'll just move it. Once you start working this on a regular basis, and I haven't done this in a while, you'll remember which way things go. Okay? So remember I made this 96? Well, because this is a bottom plate and not a stud, I want it to be a little longer. So how can I how can I extend this? Notice I want to use my view cube to, there's home. There we go, there's home. And I went over here to this corner of my view cube and picked it so it would rotate to a view I can see. So there's a couple different ways to extend this. One of the ones we know about is if we go up to solid editing and select move face, I can go in here and click on the end of the face. Notice how it highlighted. Now if I go to shaded and we go into move face and we come down here and click on it. Oops, it didn't click. I gotta get a zoom in there. There it is. It's shaded and it's a different color. And that makes it a little bit easier, okay? So then all I have to do is hit enter, pick a point, any point on the screen, okay? And you notice I'm not at an ortho. It doesn't matter. It's only going to go one way because I can go like this and it's still going to go straight. It just needs a sort of a direction. But I'm going to put my ortho back on and come over here. And that was 96, so that's 8 feet. And I want this to be 14 feet because I'm just making up my own little cabin. So what is 14 and 8 is 6, is that right? 6 feet. So I'm going to go 72, which is inches, okay? And I just stretched that, okay? And I want to double check that to make sure I'm right. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to change my units, which we haven't done in a while. UNITS, enter. And I'm going to go down here to architectural, which mine already is on. Awesome. Okay. And so let's see what happens when I go to measure this. I go DI, so distance, DI, pick a corner and go find another corner. And that tells me that it's 14 feet long. Look how good I am. I am so impressed with myself. Okay, great. So there's another thing. So I'm going to go back to wireframe. And I want to show you something else about this. Because this is a 3D object. If we go back into this view here, and I pick this, well, it's not going to let me. I'll show you on the next one, okay? So I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to make I want to create it on this plane here, okay? So that's my front plane. So I'm going to go up here and change this to front. Pick that. Go to box. Pick a corner, which I'll pick this corner here, and you can see that, notice it changed up here to me. So we're going to try and do this. We're going to box, and I've got to pick this face just like that. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to go length, and it's nice to stay in ortho this time. So 5.5, enter. 1.5, enter. And I'm going to go 144 inches, which is 12 feet. Okay. Move. I'm going to put that right down there. Okay. And then I'm going to pause for a second. So one of the things I just checked out for myself is I want to have about a 200 square foot cabin, and I'll tell you why. In the county that I live in Thurston County, if I build something 200 square feet or less, I don't have to have a building permit, which is really nice. So I can make this little cabin, and it would be really cool. So this wants to be about 14 by 14, and so that means that this right here needs to be about 13 feet long if you consider that we have 6 inches on each end. So I made this 12 feet long, so I'm going to add 1 foot to it. So again, I'm going to pick on it. Now notice when I pick on it, and I haven't done anything to it, I have all these grips. Well, I can grab these grips, and I can grab this one specifically and just pull it straight out and go 12. So that makes things really, really easy to do when you're first laying out. So now I can take this and I can go copy, and I can pick this corner back here. Why? Because that corner there wants to go on that corner there. And I can go copy again, and I can pick this corner here because I want that one to go on that corner there. And now I have my bottom plate completely done. While I'm here, before I get too carried away, I just flipped this over. I'm going to do the rest of my plywood. And I'm going to go copy. And, oops, I'm going to pick that and copy. And pick that point there. Put that one on there. And that one on there. There we go. Oh, this is interesting. What's going on here? Oh, did we blow this up by some... I think I may have blown this up. Nope, there it is. It's working. I'm going to throw these away, though, and find out what happened here. I don't know quite... Oh, look at this. Yes, I blew this up. I blew this piece up. Somehow, when I was working on this, I blew this up. I must have hit X by accident. Okay, but that's okay. We have this perimeter here that you see, okay? And let me throw this side off here. Okay, so we have this perimeter. What can I do? Well, I can go up here to extrude, select the object, hit enter, and pull straight down because that's the way I want to go. I'm going to go 0.75. Now notice it changed color on me, and that's because I'm in my bottom plate layer. And whenever you do anything like extrude, things like that, whatever layer you're in, that's the layer it's going to work in. So I'm going to go back up here. First I want to pick that, and then I'm going to go to plywood, 3/4, and change that back to plywood, 3/4. I'm going to go to world, and I'm going to go to home, and find out where I'm at here. I'm going to click on my little thing here, and it looks like I'm up inside my 2x6, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to go move, and I'm going to go come down and pull that there. There we go. Ah, much better. Okay, so then I'm going to copy this from this corner to this corner. Undo, Doug. You are just, you need another cup of coffee. Copy. Pick that corner and that corner. There we go. And then that corner right there. Okay. And then it looks like we're going to have an overhang here. There we are. Now here's one of the things, you can just go ahead and lay yours out. I'm going to do the way that we want to do, which is we want to offset plywood so you don't have a running seam when you're in your flooring. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one. And I'm going to move it from this point here all the way over to that. And I have my perpendicular on, which is really, really handy. And it looks like I missed there somehow. There we go. And we are good there. Okay, great. Now, I'm going to move this, and I'm going to pick this point here, and come over to there, and then come over to there till it says perpendicular, and I'm going to park it right there. And again, it's moving to that, because I picked the bottom side of it, it moved to the top side. Okay, but we're all good there. So you can see how I've offset this. Okay, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to build something. I'm actually going to build this for my wife this summer. So come around here, and so there we go. So obviously my length here is too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my move face, pick this face here, hit enter, come pick this, and come over here and pick this corner right here. And while I have this, I'm going to take this and copy it to these other two places over here. So I'm going to take this and copy, and I'm going to go pick that corner there and put that right there and put that right there. Okay, let's go see if everything's working okay. Hey, I'm doing good. Okay, back to the wireframe. Looks like I need one more of these short pieces in here, so I'm going to copy this one and pick that point there. And you zoom in, use your zoom. Don't just try to get, from far away, because you won't be able to pick the geometry that you need. You won't pick those different points. Now we're overhanging here, right? Let's go in here and see how we're overhanging. So you can see that I'm overhanging. I'm too far. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go in here and go to my move face. I'm going to pick this edge. Oops, notice it picked the whole thing, so I didn't pick what I wanted. Go back and kind of slow down a little bit and then pick. Sometimes you have to let AutoCAD find the geometry that you're trying to pick. It wants to guess sometimes. It wants to help you. So I'm going to come in here, pause for a second, and then pick. Okay. There. So we now have our floor, and we have our bottom plates. Okay, that's good enough for this video. I'm going to post that, and then we'll do the next part.